Michigan. I know in Michigan, I don't know how they do things here, but if you, like those folks who are doing that, if you can get licensed, but like they can be prosecuted without police, but of course it's got to get your prosecution in line. You know, there has to be somebody who's willing to testify or videotapes that are shown. I mean, because that's the real issue here. We're looking at, instead of dealing with that, we're trying to close a road because we're not dealing with the root cause. And what's going to happen, if you don't deal with that, they're just going to find another way in and around, and they're going to go down another street. I mean, you know, it's not, you're not going to stop it. So it's like you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. So I don't know if there's some way, and I know you can't do the enforcement all the time because everybody's affected with cuts and stuff, no matter where you're at, live at in the nation. But if there's some way you could come up with, you know, some way to prosecute or videotapes, you know, videotapes are really cheap. We have a lot of people in our urban area of home who videotape their properties and they turn those into prosecution. Yeah. They don't even have to testify. The prosecutor just uses it, because I know you probably would be afraid to testify too, maybe. They can use those to actually prosecute people who are trespassing, littering, you know, I don't know about abbreviations, you know, being drunk, because you got to take breathalyzers and stuff, but it's just one
Well,
idea.
many of those vehicles are unlicensed. They have no license plate, nothing on them. There's no way the state would ever even license most of them. And then another thing is
Then
many,
they gotta be
many
then they got to be local.
four-wheelers. Oh, I'm not saying they're not
Right.
extremely local. And
Let's-
I'm like,
let
But
me-
then you know where they live.
Let's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, I don't know where that is.
I want to hear other objections before we get anything else. Mr. Lovejoy?
My concern with that, Charles, is four-wheelers. You heard, you ain't gonna keep four-wheelers down there. If you put up a gate there, they'll still come up in there. I run a call out there 3 years ago, and a four-wheeler, and a woman that had a broken finger. Doc, you know what, broken finger, how much pain she was in. That was her for out there next to the cemetery, the Mud River ball field. Flyer health net. Well, she'd be processed down to getting her to the hospital, going all the way around that ridge from off the Mud River. And you can put up a gate, four-wheelers are still gonna be there. We gotta get to these people. We run medical calls on these people. We're trying to save lives. And I can't save a life if I can't get to a gate. You know, and if it's locked up where I can't get to it, you mentioned about the brush fire. We had about, I think it was estimated about 250 acres. Gentleman owns the Cummings place, Lovejoy up here.
Yeah.
I was on that fire. I had several members on that. One of their neighbors down the ridge there lost a outbuilding, a barn. In the outbuilding, you had a four-wheeler and a 911. I can't get a fire truck out there coming around the other road. Once you pay $250,000–260,000 for a truck and stick it in a place like that out there, you know, it's not feasible to tear something like that up for a person. I mean,
Okay. Anyone else objecting to the road? Anything?
Yes, ma'am. I've got people out there, and one is Mr. It's like we was discussing with four-wheelers. Their four-wheelers gonna get out there, they're gonna wreck. I've got kids that rides out in there, they don't drink, you know, and you're letting a few drunks take over the whole road. You know, and put a gate out there, he's done pulled guns. They never come down unless they got a gun. You know what that gate's gonna give him? It's gonna give him the right to shoot somebody. Because he had this road blocked, this is his property. I lived out there 27 years ago. I walked out of Upton Street by myself, morning and evening. We had drunks just as bad all over the place. Worse. But you know what? People watched out after me, and you know, they ain't had nothing stowed out there. They're gonna hear the sounds on top of the hill out of a four-wheeler, no matter what way they block the road. Because there's more accesses on four-wheelers. I named a car out there. My mother's buried out there. My brother's buried out there. My grandparents. I got aunts. I got uncles. And that's my way out there.
Anyone else wants to express why it should not be closed?
Well, I'm here on behalf too of my sister and mother, which the property that was our daddy's was to us, and then my uncle that couldn't be here tonight, that's the Luther Dozer, he got the letter. Also, when they want to get out there, want to have access to get out there. And, you know, it's raised in Kanawha County, but my granddad was in Lincoln County, and it's a special thing to us to come to Lincoln County every year and go back on our ancestors' property and have that freedom to enjoy the property the way we should be able to enjoy it.
Well, I think as I see the request to close it, I think looking at it was more of a request because of safety issues.
Yeah.
But saying it and doing it's two different things. It's just a tough decision. Is
But how
now-
will the road be maintained if the gates, who's going to be maintaining the roads
That's
anyway?
the question, yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to be maintained without a gate, then I don't have any objections of a gate as long as we all have keys. But, you know, I know I talked to Keith on the phone and he had talked about if the gates weren't there, they'd maintain it. But who's going to be maintaining this road? Is
Well, I think it has to stay on the state system if you want to maintain.
But we can't, that's possible?
I don't know, that's,
No.
I don't know.
We need to check in with the law to try to help these people. I mean, there's got to be something there to help out. I mean, I don't know.
It's gotta be better than what it is.
I mean, it better it is. We need to help them. We need to come together as neighbors,
Yeah.
but we can't close that road. And if somebody got hurt or killed, we'd all feel bad
Right.
about that. But we'd all want to go justice to find the person that hurt them. But we can't have a gun pulled on us. You know, I went up to that house 2 or 3 times, knocked on the door, and I even got with the dogs. But I left my rifle down at the gate when I was deer hunting, so I could get out of there. And then I had to turn around all the way back and go all the way back out. And I even had a key, but my key didn't work. And but I understand where she's coming from. I really do. But I mean, there's got to be a solution
Well,
that we can come up to agreement without making her mad, because she really is the neighbor that's protecting us to watch over it if anybody goes up. But if we close it, we're right back in the same position. It's got to be a law thing to stop this, to help her out in the trash. But cameras.
They'll travel that road for years, so it should be maintained by the state. But the state can't maintain that road if he's got a gate up.
Well, I
And
understand.
if you come to the conclusion of put a gate up to give everybody
Yeah.
keys, who's gonna make 100,000 keys that issue
Yeah.
out to every family that's got people out there?
No.
And how do you know if once I get a key, how do you know that I'm not gonna go make 50 more keys and give it out to every four-wheeler person that rides four-wheelers? Because I enjoy riding four-wheelers, my grandkids enjoy it, and I don't drink. Drunk one time in my life and never will do it again. But I still like to ride four-wheelers out through there because it's easier to get a four-wheeler out through there than it is to get my car out through there.
And that's the only way to get a fire truck out through there. The other road, it ain't wide enough for a fire truck. No way, shape, or form. There's no way the fire truck can get out there unless they go through that gate.
All right, let's listen, see if we got any other comments that for us to consider.
This is a map, an aerial map of the area, and you'll see, that's her house, and this is the road in question, and there's no one that owns any property along the side of that road. Now, you have State Route 7, or County Highway 7, that comes all the way through here, and it goes directly to Pea Ridge Cemetery. You also have County Road 64, and it's